Meanwhile, she's back. TMZ reporting that Rosie O'Donnell is returning to The View.
Do you believe I think our troops are terrorists, Elizabeth?
I don't think that you...
No? Do you believe that, yes or no?
Excuse me. Let me speak.
You're going to double
Okay?
speak. It's just a yes
I'm not
or a no.
I am not a double speaker.
She's not a double speaker. So what does her former co-host think about that? Elisabeth Hasselbeck, who is currently on vacation, picked up a phone and she joins us live. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, my friends. Hi, Steve, Ryan, and Anna. This is how I watched the show for years, so I am thrilled to be joining you from my staycation. Just flipped some pancakes with the kids, and what could ruin a vacation more than to hear news like this? I know Rosie very well. We worked quite closely. Talk about not securing the border. Here in comes to the View the very woman who been in the face of our military, been in the face of her own network, and really in the face of a person who stood by her and had civilized debates for the time that she was there. Coming back with a bunch of control, ready to regain the seat at the View table, not surprising. I think this has been in the works for a long time.
Why? Why do you think it's been in the works for a long time?
Okay, so I'll go back to the reunion show for Barbara. How odd is this? When you have the woman who, again, insinuated that our own troops were terrorists in Iraq at the time, then left the show, meanwhile, while still at the end of her contract, to have such ease the day of Barbara's goodbye show was shocking to me. She walked around with a lot of control. And then when I had the chance to talk to her, Rosie herself told me on set, while we were mic'd up, that she produced the reunion show to have everybody together, and it was her idea. Ooh. Now, would you think that the woman who left the way that she did would be producing Barbara's goodbye show? Here's the shocker. It was actually her hello show.
Wow.
Wow.
So they've been planning this.
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying she's going to have a heavy hand in who's going to be added to the show. Get your thoughts on that in just a bit. But as they're looking, Harvey Levin from TMZ was giving you huge accolades last night with Greta Van Susteren. Listen to this.
To me, the linchpin in this whole thing was Elisabeth Hasselbeck. And, you know, ironically, and I didn't think so at the time, she was the key to the success of the show, at least in the last, 8 or 9 years, because she was the lightning rod. And you saw what happened when you showed it with Rosie and Elisabeth. And that's the stuff people like seeing. You don't want 5 people or 4 people, all of whom are agreeing.
And see, that was the problem for a lot of people with this latest batch, Elisabeth Hasselbeck, was everybody had the same view. You need to have the other point of view, otherwise it's dull.
Well, the View is supposed to be just that. Now, here is a fact. Anyone who's going to be in that seat, if indeed this is all going to play out as I think it will, or already has, will have to be fully approved by Rosie. Now, let's not forget, Whoopi Goldberg is sitting there, and Whoopi's not going to let anybody control her. Whoopi has an EGOT, okay? She has actually more trophies in her case than Rosie. She's the leader on that show. I'm going to be very interested to see how that goes.
So they're going to butt heads? You think they're going to butt heads?
I don't think it would be wise for Rosie O'Donnell to challenge Whoopi Goldberg on anything. Wow. I really don't. And I would also say that after years of being there, Rosie found out one thing about me. Don't mess with the pregnant mama, and do not mess with our military when it comes to this girl sitting next to her. I do believe that this has been in the works for a long time. Right. She wanted to redo the split screen and voice it over from our original confrontation right there. I was not up for that. She seemed to have a lot of control for Barbara's farewell show. Again, it is Rosie O'Donnell's hello show, in my opinion.
And as Barbara said farewell, she said hello. That's probably not a coincidence either.
Not at all. Not at all. Let me just finish with this, though. I could not be more thankful to be at Fox and Friends. You all are the most outstanding group of crew and buddies there, and I'm so ever thankful. Days like this always remind me of that, and y'all doing a great job. But mark my words, this is just the beginning. Again.
Well, Whoopi, we're delighted that you are part of our permanent team, and have a great rest of your vacation, Elisabeth.
A staycation. I miss you guys. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, and we're glad you're here as well. Meanwhile,